Hey, this is part 2 of our Universal tips and tricks video. I didn't say in the first one that I was going to do a part 2, but I realized after the fact that there was a lot of stuff that I didn't cover. So I am here today with my husband to go over some things that I didn't go over in that first video. If you missed the first video, I will link it so you can go back and watch that one. It was a longer video. This one may not be as long, and we're both here because there was stuff that he did that I didn't do, and so he's got a different perspective of some stuff, and we're gonna have no particular order in any of this stuff. We're just gonna jump right into it. If you are not familiar with this, I think I'm probably gonna have the same thumbnail picture, so you probably saw that there was 5 of us. That's us, and then our 3 kids. We have a 4-year-old, a 11-year-old, and a 15-year-old. So that was our family dynamic during this trip to Universal, of the 3 kids of a wide range of ages, and then us. And we went to all 3 parks. We went, well, not all 3. There's 4. We didn't go to all 4 parks, but we went to 3 parks. We did Epic, Islands of Adventure, and Studios. Universal Studios. We didn't do Volcano Bay because we went in January, last week of January. But all those details, again, are in the first video. You can go back and watch that. We're just going to talk about some of the stuff we missed. First thing that I had on my mental list, because I had a written list and I left it somewhere at work, so I don't have that list. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what I had wrote down. First thing I do remember was the freestyle cup. I showed you the cup that we got, ended up getting 2 of them, and that's the short description. You pay to fill it up at the parks. Every 10 minutes you can fill it up. So one thing that my husband, this is Chris, by the way, if I didn't tell you, he's never been in one of my videos. One thing that Chris told me to remind y'all, or to tell y'all about, was that the cups are good like visit after visit or year after year. We haven't experienced that ourselves, but we saw a lot of comments and discussions on the Facebook groups that we had joined saying that they take their cups back like trip after trip, and as long as you go in and refill, like you can just carry the empty cup in with you, and then you go to one of the stations where you can refill it or reload it, then you can just reload that cup. They don't know that you got it that year or the year before or whatever. And I did also see, again, not from our experience, but I did see a discussion where somebody was talking about if the chip that they have to read in the machines is damaged, that they'll give you a new cup. So if you've ever done that or experienced that, then let me know. I haven't done that myself. And then you saw the other cups where?
Super Nintendo World has the mushroom power-up shaped cups. They're smaller, but they're also freestyle cups.
Was it just the mushrooms?
That's all that's coming to my head.
So they had like the regular Universal branded ones, like I showed you that in the first video that we got, that was like the generic park cup.
Yeah, tumbler.
But then he says in the Nintendo World there was the mushroom cup, and I want to say I saw other ones
and
like
souvenirs. They're more souvenir cups than they are like the tumbler cups.
Yeah, like different shape ones. I guess it's kind of like you can get the popcorn buckets and different characters and designs and stuff. So there was, if you look for it, like we were in a hurry, I think, to get that first cup, so we didn't really look a whole lot, which I don't know if we would have got one of the small cups anyway, because we'd rather have the big one that we can fill up. But yeah, look at the different shops and see if you see the different freestyle cups other than just the generic ones. What was the other thing? The parent swap. I did not talk about the parent swap thing. I don't remember, other than not Monsters. Yeah, Monsters Unchained in Epic Universe. We did the parent swap there. And so what that is like if you're riding a ride and you've got a kid that's too small to ride the ride, or they're going to be too scared of that ride, you can carry them with you through, or push them or walk them or whatever through the queue of the ride. And when you get to a certain point, you let them know that you're doing parent swap, that you've got one that's too small. And they're like, they are kind of eagle-eyed on this stuff. Like they were pointing, like if people were coming through with kids that were too small, like they were asking, like you didn't even have to tell them. They just knew right off the bat that you were doing parent swap. Because they're just used to seeing little kids coming in and not being able to ride, and they know they got to take them to the parent swap room. But you get to a certain point and you let them know, or they ask you whatever if you're doing parent swap, and they'll say, okay, just you come over here, or they'll ask who's going first, who's riding first. So one parent will stay with whichever kid or kids is not riding, and they'll go to a room On the Simpsons ride, we saw that it was like themed was it like a nuclear reactor or something? So it was, and they had like TVs playing. So it looked. We didn't go in there because my son was barely old enough or barely tall enough, I think, to ride that one. So he got to ride that one with us. But we could see at a certain point the family swap room, and it was themed really cool, and they had TVs playing in there. The Monsters Unchained family room also had a TV playing in there and had like a couple of benches to sit in. It was a pretty big room.
Looked like a castle.
Yeah, it was a castle looking room. But the whole thing is you get to a certain point and the parent that is staying with the kid or kids goes off to this room while the other parent and kid or kids goes and rides the ride. And when they're done, usually that room is going to be like right there where you exit. And so you swap the parents and the one that didn't get to ride. They weren't picky about like the kids that rode with the first parent. They didn't care if they rode again. So like our two oldest ones, our two girls, would like ride with him, and I would stay with our son. And then when those three would get done riding, they'd come back and the two girls would ride with me and we'd go again. Or they'd go again and I'd go for the first time. And him and our son would stay in the family room, and then when me and the girls are done and they got to ride their second time, then we would all leave and go out the exit line. And that pretty well works the same at any of the rides that have the parent swap. And if you've got the app, you can look at the information, like it'll give the height requirements and the wait times and all that, and it'll say parent swap on there, so you know if that's an option or not. The Monsters Unchained, it was scary. I don't think I talked about that, but our son cried. I think I did mention that in the first video, but that one, just forewarning, it was pretty scary. You go through the whole queue and the like little, what do you call that? Like it's not a show.
It's like a pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got some animatronics and the realistic looking screens of characters and the electricity popping and buzzing, and it scared our son. I don't know, he didn't want to do it again. I was gonna say he would have done it a second time, but we didn't try because he was also the Kong ride.
Skull Island.
What was it called?
Kong
Skull Island.
Yeah.
He was big enough to ride it, and me and the girls had went somewhere and they rode it.
We tried to ride it like three. There was like 3 times of us trying to ride it. We tried to ride it, and you had to run off with him to go use the bathroom.
We had a potty emergency, and then it got
delayed. Then when y'all got back, they had canceled it and like delayed it for hours, and so we didn't get to ride it that day. Me and
the girls went and did some Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah, I had our son, and we went to. I was like, well, let's try the Kong ride since how the time is pretty short, and we're right here at it, and we want to do it, and he was wanting to do it. But then once
y'all got into it, it was scary. Like the queue is dark, and they've got like
it's like walking through caves.
Yeah, it's like doing the chanting, like the Kong, 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 and it like gets louder and louder, and it gets kind of scary. And then the actual ride itself, it was really cool, but it's super realistic. And I guess he got
you're on a flatbed truck pretty much with benches, and everybody's sitting in the rows of benches, and it's.
If I have any pictures, I'll put them up here.
It sits up on a platform, so the platform moves, but the screens, super realistic, high definition screens, make it feel like you're moving and like going fast and moving different places. But it's also the structure is moving.
And they had like water spraying. We don't want to give all of it away, but had like water spraying to make it give the effects of things hitting you from the outside. So,
and falling and stuff, and then at a certain point after the ride's almost over, it starts moving again, and then you have a realistic, life-size Kong.
Oh yeah, the animatronic, the big one, and it's like right there,
like movie grade, high quality, realistic, and he was terrified. Yeah.
But the second time,
the next day.
So if you know how your kid is with things like this, the second time, the next day, we were all 5 going to ride it, and we just figured we were going to have to do the parent swap thing, and I was just kind of seeing, kind of trying to get a feel of how he was going to react to it this time around and kind of hype him up to see if he wanted to ride it again. And I'm like, are you going to ride it? And he goes, yeah, let's do this. And so he wanted to ride it, and he enjoyed it, and he loved it, and he was super excited about it. I think
he probably would have done it again after that.
I think having our girls with us, I think he was trying to like say that it was really fun, to show them that it was really fun, because he kept asking his sisters like, are you going to ride? are you going to ride it? Do you like King Kong? Like, I think that was one of the reasons why he liked it more the second time around.
But he also knew what he was getting into the second time around.
Yeah. So maybe like showing videos of like first person view of some of the rides. If you've got a kid that's going to be scared of some of these rides, you could like show them ahead of time what it's going to look like. It still doesn't give you the real effect.
Because the sound, it is like you're getting
that
movie
was something
theater
else.
noise.
That was
sound.
Another thing I don't think I mentioned. We had a pair of earplugs and we ended up leaving them at the room. But there was a couple of times that like having, if your kid is super sensitive to the sound, just having like the head earmuffs, like you take like Monster Truck Rally or something, having those, if you don't mind carrying those around, or having regular earplugs, would be very helpful with some of these things. I think that would have made it a little bit less scary. And then talking about the rides, I don't think I mentioned that my 11-year-old owned Stardust Racers. That's in Epic Universe. We rode that. Me and the two girls rode that one, and I rode side by side. It's a 2x2, like so 2 seats side by side, and it's like 2 and then 2 in one cart kind of thing. But you can't really see the people that are in front of or behind you. My oldest daughter was behind us, but I couldn't see her because you're like, it's got the thing that goes over your shoulders, and you're pretty well strapped in. And I could barely look over at my 11-year-old. Anyway, we rode it together. By the time it was done and stopped, she'll probably be embarrassed of me telling you this, but she was crying. Like, it was intense. Like, it was intense for me. Once we got going, like, it took off. Like, I thought it was top speed, and then it took off again, and it got even faster, and I'm like, I'm going to pass out. So I'm sitting there, eyes closed, trying to concentrate on my breathing and not passing out, and I'm holding my daughter's hand, and I'm holding her hand so tight that I couldn't tell if she was holding my hand back or not. But after we were done and she got over the initial shock and she wasn't crying anymore, and she was like saying that she wasn't ever going to do that again, but she wasn't, still in tears. That just lasted for a minute or two.
That was her first inverted roller coaster.
Yeah,
it might be just her first true.
We're trying to think. We've been to Carowinds and Dollywood, but
she never rode like a grown-up
thing.
Roller coaster, and that one was also had inversions on it.
She wanted to ride it. She was super excited. She for sure wanted to ride it. We didn't make her ride it, but she was crying by the time it was done. It was so intense. It was a lot. And then we were talking about it later and said something about the mist or the water or something, because there's one point where you go down. It's the part where you're standing, like the crowds walking by the ride can stand there and watch. It's that point where it dips down right there. There's like mist coming up. And we said something about getting wet, and she says, like, what? I got wet? When did we get wet? And then we realized on the picture that they took during the ride that she was passed out. So she was sleeping. She was gone. She had no idea. I had no idea because I couldn't see her over the the shoulder restraints that come down. So that was intense. After that, she had been really hyped up wanting to do Velocicoaster and Hulk. Is it called Incredible Hulk or just Hulk?
The Hulk.
The Hulk. We wouldn't let her ride those because I looked up the information, and either Hulk or I think it was Velocicoaster. I didn't look up the specifics on Hulk because we just said no for her for both of those. We weren't even going to try it, but I'm pretty sure it was Velocicoaster. I looked up, and it has more G's, and it's taller and goes faster than Stardust Racers. So we were like, no, we're not even letting you try that.
It's intense, and it has it doesn't have like the shoulder harnesses. It's just a lap staple harness sort of thing, just across your legs.
So I didn't ride. He rode Hulk and Velocicoaster. I did not ride those two because that was the morning that I took 11-year-old and our son, and we went to DreamWorks. That was some of those pictures. Like, we got to see the characters, and we rode Troller Coaster, so that was as intense as we got after that.
She did get to ride the Hiccups
Wing gliders. That
which was actually a lot more intense than I thought it was going to be. Which it was fun, and she looks like she's passed out in the picture.
Yeah, we've got the picture. She claims, and she gets mad when we say she's passed out because it looks like she's passed out, but she says she is not. That she's in between screams and her eyes are closed. But it was pretty intense too. I didn't ride that one. Werewolf.
Curse of the Werewolf. She cried a little bit with that, but it wasn't crying. She was more. Please make it stop. Please make it stop. I don't want to ride this anymore.
I think it's the intenseness that gets her.
Yeah, and
I don't think she's scared for her life. I think it's just that instant.
Curse of the Werewolf. you're in like almost like a barrel. Each car is like a barrel, and it has, it just spins on its own, G forces. So as the roller coaster is going around, each car is got a different view because it's spinning under its own G forces.
I guess she was just done.
Yeah.
She was wanting to stop. What else?
It did have some launches on it.
The what was it? Oh, the restraints on Stardust Racers. He could not ride Stardust Racers, like the shoulder.
We didn't.
Which one did we try that you couldn't do?
The Forbidden Journey.
Did I even do that?
Yeah, that was the Hogwarts.
And it was weird because they were like that one. I rode that one, and it was like a 4 or 5 person wide seating thing, and it had the shoulder things that went down. But it felt really roomy, and he couldn't make it fit. Like it would go over his shoulders because it was like he was too broad shouldered for it, I guess.
Well, that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one. That's the only one that I tried. Like most of the rides have a seat to where you can try.
Yeah, the test seat, and it's got a green light, red light, and you got to have the light go green for you to know that it's going to work when you go to ride it.
That's the only one that I tried that did not work. I didn't try everything, but the ones that I did try, that one did not work for me. Could have.
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say like if one doesn't work, the other one's definitely not going to work. Because I think it really just depends on exactly how the shoulder restraints are made. Yeah. Or because I don't know. Yeah, I don't go by one and say you can't ride any of them. I would try the test seat on all of them.
Yeah, I fit Hulk fine. I fit Curse of the Werewolf and Velocicoaster fine. Hiccup Swing Gliders I was able to fit on. And from what I've heard, Forbidden Journey, I think that's the Hogwarts ride. That, from what I understand, it's a lot of people get turned.
Wait, did I ride that one?
Yeah, that's the one in Hogwarts where you go through the Hogwarts.
Okay, yeah, and then me and the girls went and did Escape from Gringotts. You didn't try to do that one, did you?
No, I didn't even bother with that one. Me and our son went off, and that's when we rode Kong.
Okay, yeah.
But from what I understand, the Forbidden Journey it's got a habit. It's got a reputation of turning away bigger guests.
And I've seen, like, on the Facebook group, I've seen people talking about that, like being tall and not being able to fit, or being, heavy in the middle and not being able to fit, or being those shapes and fitting in ones that they thought they wouldn't fit in. So definitely do the test seats. Don't go by one and think that you can't fit in any of the other ones. Oh, something else that we did with totally getting off of the ride subject. I'm just trying to mentally think of my things that I had written down. Souvenirs. My kids were asking for all the souvenirs. They wanted to buy everything. But, from my first video that we had a budget and there was only certain things we could get. Especially my son, 4 years old. He doesn't understand budget or whatever. So we would be like, no, that's too big. You can't get that. And then he would find a little toy that was this big that cost like $80. We're like, no, you can't get that one either, even though it is tiny. So I would take a picture of him with whatever it was that he had picked up wanting to buy. It was usually a toy. So I'd be like, let's get a picture of it and we'll come back for it. And then most of them he forgot about. He didn't even ask. There's been one thing that he has remembered that we did not get, that he keeps bringing up, that we're going to go back to Universal and get for him. So we're probably going to end up ordering it off of Amazon. It was cheaper there anyway. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that worked if your kids are younger. Or even just for memory's sake, if you are planning on possibly going back and getting these things that they're picking up and wanting, but you just don't want to get it that day, take a picture of it. And like on my phone, I go to my Google Pictures and just search their name so I could pull up my son's name and then go back and look at all the pictures that I had took of him over the last few days while we were there and be like, okay, well, let's go back to this place today. Or if we are going back to this place today, he's got this much left in him. We can, get this thing that he was asking for, or we'll go back and see if he even wants it. A lot of times we went back to some places and he didn't even want the thing that he was crying over that we took a picture of. But taking a picture of something like kind of made him not cry over it as much. I guess it made him think like we're not going to forget about this. They will come back and get it. It was easier transition to get out of the store without buying anything than just saying, no, put that back. We got to go. And it did help us. We did go back and get some stuff, especially like my 11-year-old. She saw stuff that she wanted but didn't know if she wanted to get it that day because she wanted to spread her money out. So we took pictures of some things so that she could remember. And then I don't know if I talked about this or not, but the souvenirs, you could, if you're staying at one of the Universal hotels, like part of in the parks, or like we were at the Endless Summer Resorts, they're not in the parks but they're part of it. You can do the souvenir delivery, or I can't remember what, I think there's a name for it. But if it's something big that you don't want to be carrying around, you can ask when you're checking out if they do like the hotel delivery. We did it only with one thing. It just
With our,
we just somehow
we had the stroller, so it wasn't a.
yeah, we carried a lot of the stuff on the stroller. It was like stuff that we were carrying on our person, like the cups or the popcorn buckets or something. So we didn't really have a whole lot of need, but we kind of wanted to try it out. And there was one thing that our oldest daughter got, and we thought maybe we were going to be doing the rides that you had to have the lockers for. So that day we asked if they did the ship to hotel thing, and they did. So it was, I want to say it was before lunch. Yeah, it was like one of our first stops that morning, like 10 or 11 o'clock. And they asked what hotel we were in, what our room number was. I don't know if they like scanned our card or something. I don't remember. But it was at our, I got a text saying that it had been delivered, and it was at the luggage counter. So when we went in that afternoon, or that night when we got back to the hotel, we just stopped by the luggage counter and told them that we had a delivery to pick up. And I think I had to keep my receipt. They give you a receipt that has something on it. And I showed them the receipt, and they went back in the back and got it and come back out. And it was there, and we didn't have to carry it around. So do not do that on the day you're leaving, and maybe not even the day before you're leaving.
You're supposed to do it the day before either.
And they did ask us that at the counter when we were checking out and doing the whole delivery information thing, asked when we were leaving, because sometimes it might take 24 hours or a little bit more for them to deliver, so you don't want to chance you leaving the hotel and not getting whatever the item was that you bought. Oh, food. We'll talk a little bit about the food. On the day that we had split up, Chris and our oldest daughter had went and done, I think that was when y'all went and rode Velocicoaster and Hulk.
No, Epic. And we went in Dark Universe, and
somehow or another we were split
Harry
up
Potter.
again. I don't remember why, but we were split up, and they went and got the butterbeer crepes. So that's like one of the big things that people go for.
With Epic Universe opening up, it was one of the new items that was a.
So the main place that they say you're supposed to get that at is called what?
La Café de Sarine.
But y'all got it at
Le Goblet Noir.
So that place, it wasn't like as crowded, or
it was not as crowded at all. La Café de Sarine is on the main street in the Paris Ministry of Magic Paris section. Le Goblet Noir is supposed to be like the back alley with the shady characters.
So that was where they went and got that. So if you're wanting to not like get into the crowd and still get the crepe, he said that would be a good option.
Yeah. There's things that are popular, and they have a certain place where they're popular to receive them, but they do sell them at these other little places.
That kind of reminds me of, I talked about it in the first video, this is not food related, but our 11-year-old wanted to get that wand, and we didn't realize that there was all the different places that sell wands. And I think I mentioned it, but I'm not sure, but they were selling different types of wands at different stores that sell the wands. So if you're looking for a particular one, don't just stop your search if you don't see it at the first store that you're at. It may be at another one.
It turned out the one she was looking for was an Epic Universe exclusive, so it had to be bought at Epic Universe.
All right, so I think we've covered everything. I was thinking there was more food stuff, but I cannot think now. So we're probably going to do another video or two about Universal stuff, like maybe do like a top 10 or 20 things to pack, and then maybe like a what we would do different next time type video, because there was a lot. But that's all we've got for today. If you missed the part 1, make sure you go back and watch that. It'll be linked in the description, and we will see you in the next video. Bye. Say bye.
That's it. Bye. My mouth went bye.